Hey guys, Trackline here on my Discipline Priest. I just posted a few new macros, so I thought I'd show you how to use them. They all work for the update, so you can just copy and paste the macros from the link below. Also, if you have the Impulse add-on, you can come up here and just choose your modifier and their macros go straight to your hotbar. Or go to the Actions tab and sift through all their macros and then go straight to your macro tab. Also, of course, I have a link down below to my Bartender, all the other add-ons I use. Everyone always asks, so all my add-ons and all the macros you see, you can find them in the links down below. So the first macro I tested for the update was a powered shield Mouseover. Looks like this, and I'll show you exactly how it works. You can just switch out the powered shield at the end here and put whatever friendly spell you want. And so how this works is if you have a single target with nobody else moused over, it'll always go on your single target, just like that. Or let's say you want to keep your current target and put your shield on someone else, you can just simply mouse over them and put your shield on them without deselecting your current target. Of course, you don't need a target or anything like that. You can just mouse over people, put your shield on them, just like that. And it will go on yourself if you have no mouse over and no single target. It'll always go on yourself, just like that. So yeah, it's a really versatile macro, and like I said before, just switch it out at the end and you're good to go. Next up is a Dispel Magic focus macro, which looks like this. / cast bracket target equals focus exists, no dead Dispel Magic. And if you want to switch this one out, you just switch it here and here, and leave that semicolon in between. And it works for non-friendly and friendly spells. I'm just showing Dispel Magic because it's really easy to show off, no cooldown. So how this works is if you just have a single target, it'll go off on them, as long as you don't have a focus target. As soon as you have a focus target, it's always going to go off on your focus, just like that. And single, no focus, it's always going to go on the single, just like that. So as you can see, you can just quickly, whoever's on your focus, you can dispel them, like that. And like I said before, it's really good for basically any spell. It just depends how you use the macro. But I've seen a lot of people where they set up almost all their macros like this, and they just have their single target. They can do all the spells on them, and then they can switch to focus, do all the spells, turn it off, and then go back to their single, like that. So wherever their focus is, for instance, if it's that guy, and then go back to the single, like that. But it just depends. People play differently, so however you want to use the macro. And if you want to get your focus on off people quicker, I have a macro for that right here. And you can just copy and paste it. And how this works is you can just simply hover over whoever you want, like this grunt back here. Click it once and it'll put them on your focus. I should have probably told you, but on this UI my focus is right here, and this is my single. So if I want to switch from this grunt to this target dummy, just simply double click because the first click takes them off, second click puts your mouse over on. So double click, switch to them, Even if you have a single target, doesn't change nothing. So yeah, it's a really nice macro. I recommend just playing around with it, see if you like it, and yeah, copy and paste it. Next up is a Stopcasting Fade macro, which looks like this: /stopcasting /cast fade. And depending on the update, sometimes you might have to put a couple lines of stop casting in front of there. Also depends on the spell and your latency sometimes. But for right now, you should be able to just get away with one stop casting line. And you can, of course, switch this out for like pain suppression or some other spell you might want to use in the middle of a cast to make sure you get it off in time. But how this works is, if you never used a stop casting before, I'll explain how the reason why it's so nice. Let's say we're casting a Smite, and in the middle of it, we want to hurry up and quit casting it and do a fade to get rid of some threat. What most people do is they'll start moving, or they might jump. They might do something like this, then go into their fade to make sure they get it off in time. But that's not very efficient because you lose a lot of time with the animation and the jumping and all that. So what the stop casting will do is it'll automatically stop the casting of your current spell and then use fade at the same time. all you have to do is spam the button. So when this comes back up, I'm going to show you. I'm going to cast my Smite, and then I'll automatically stop it and use the button instead of having to move or anything like that. So that's what this looks like. One button click does it all. You don't have to worry about waiting for the spell to get over or moving or anything like that. And the last macro I tested today was a modifier for my Penance and my Smite, which looks like this. /cast bracket modify alt, Smite, semicolon Penance. And you can switch out the alt right here for something like shift or control if that's easier for you. And if you've never used a modifier before, yeah, you can do that. And what you put before the semicolon is what you're modifying. So here's the macro on my keybind right here, as you can see. If I just hit it normally, it's going to be my Penance, just like that. But if I hold down the same, if I hold down Alt and hit the same keybind, it's going to be my Smite. And you don't have to hold it down for the entire duration. Just hold down Alt, hit the keybind, and then you're good to go. You don't have to hold it down for the whole cast or anything like that. Yeah, so these modifiers are good for a couple reasons. First, you can save on interface and keybind space because you'll be macroing or keybinding multiple spells for one keybind. I don't know if I said that right, but I think you know what I mean. And more importantly, say you're really good with like the A key and the S key, or similar keys and keys around them. Well, you can just set up modifier macros for all those keys, and you become a little more efficient with the keys you're already good at, instead of trying to get good with keys you're not very good at, like on the top or the right side of your keyboard. Alright guys, well that's the last macro I tested today for the Discipline Priest. If you want to see more Disc Priest macros, just drop a like on the video, and I'll know you enjoyed it. I'll make more for you guys. Have a good one.